In today's video, you're going to be hearing from Oscar-winning actors, Oscar-nominated actors, from a renowned casting director. You're also going to be able to watch celebrity actors have their famous audition tapes that landed them their amazing roles. And then on top of all of that, I'm going to give you one very special acting technique that you can use to achieve some of these amazing results that you see in this video today. So to start us off, we have to build a foundation for ourselves of really understanding the casting perspective. And in order to do that, we're going to be watching this video from Brad Pitt.
I would like to say something about the auditioning. A lot of time, what it takes to get elected in an office, if you think politics, what it takes to get elected has nothing to do with what it takes to govern. And I find that true about the auditioning process as well. You know, you're sitting in a room and you all kind of look alike and you're all going over your lines and you can hear the audition going on inside. And you have these few pages of black lines on white paper and it says you smile here and you do this there. And you start hearing the same thing over and over and over. Now you think of the people on the other side there, the people that are running the casting sessions. Man, by the 3rd, 4th, the 10th, the 20th, you know, they're hearing the same thing, and then suddenly someone comes in and does something different, and it lands. Now, you can't be different for different's sake, but you have to separate yourself from the normal read, and of course, it has to be truthful.
Now, as an actor, you also have to think about this from the casting director's perspective. Imagine that you have 50 actors coming in and they're doing the exact same thing. That gets boring. Imagine you had to eat Captain Crunch, your favorite cereal, every single day. Well, hey, you may have a good time for the first 5 days, but on day 15, it gets kind of boring. So you want to figure out, how can you as an actor stand out from the rest of the crowd? And the great thing is that Margot Robbie, an Oscar-nominated actress, she actually saw this point for herself and was able to understand this process. So let's take a look at this.
I mean, it's awful because I've done a million audition tapes and you always have this fear like, oh gosh, what are the people gonna say? They're gonna like nitpick me and say, oh, what is she wearing? Or why did she say like that? Or, you know, make fun of me or whatever. It's exciting to like see someone like Paul Walter Hauser's audition tape come through and just be like, wow, his take on the character was so different to the last 100 tapes I've just watched. And you know, he just made this dialogue, he turned it into something else completely. And that was so exciting to discover, being on that side of things. I really loved watching the audition tapes.
Now, on top of all of this, another foundational point you have to understand is that the casting director is rooting for you. They want you to be the actor that they need for this part, because everybody has a job. And if we think about that, the director's job is to keep the whole film on track. The whole storyline has to be consistent from the beginning to the end. They make sure the actors do what they're supposed to do. The actor's job is to give the best acting performance. The editor's job is to make sure that they edit the film properly when they have hundreds of hours of film to put it in a 1.5 hour movie. The casting director's job is to what? To get the best actors that they can for the movie, for the television show. Because at the end of the day, if the casting director loves their job, they want to keep getting hired more and more and more so they can sustain their living, put food on the table for themselves. But let me ask you this. If the casting director does a bad job, they get an opportunity to cast a movie, and then they cast the movie and the actors just don't work for the project, is that director going to hire them again? The casting director wants you to be the right actor. When they get to open your self-tape and they watch it, they are hoping, they are rooting, hey, when I open this tape, I want you to be the actor that I need for this project. That's what they're hoping for. And to solidify this, I want you to look at this point from Matt Damon.
Auditioning people for Good Will Hunting. It was the first time I'd been on the other side of the table. And it just hit me. Oh my God, I've been looking at this the wrong way around all these years. All this time I've been viewing this as an adversarial thing. Like I'm gonna go in and they're against me. The opposite is actually true. When you're auditioning people, you're desperate for somebody to come in and win the role. It solves all your problems, yeah. Rejecting me all those years weren't being, you know, mean or judgmental. They were hoping that I would win the part, and I just didn't.
So now that we've been able to talk about this and we've been able to watch these clips, we've built this foundation for ourselves. And the foundation is you have to stand out from the rest of the crowd because you're gonna have 50, 100, 200 other people that you are gonna compete against. And you also have to realize that the casting director is rooting for you. They're hoping that you're the right one for the part. That's the first foundation that we have to realize as actors anytime we audition for a project. Now what I want you to notice is I want you to watch some of these amazing audition tapes. These audition tapes that landed these actors their great roles. And let's just watch this, and I want you to pay attention to the honesty and the naturalism that are coming from these actors. So let's watch this.
You seem very familiar with my name, but I do not remember smelling one of your kind before.
You don't know nothing about my life. I ain't never had no boyfriend.
It's not that simple.
Yes, it is, Al.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. She's part of the royal family. They won't get any information from her. She knows the art of mind control.
Well, he's
mine, and he lives with me, and he likes me, and he wants to stay here.
So, then?
No, sir. It's not gonna happen. Sorry.
Now, what's something that you notice when you watch this? These actors are completely natural. It's as if the camera doesn't exist. They are unfazed by it. You want to become neutral as if you don't even know the camera's there. It's like this. When you walk every single day in your life, you don't think about how you walk. But if I put you in a room with 50 people and I say, you're gonna walk across this room and we're all gonna analyze how you walk, all of a sudden you are not gonna be able to walk the same because now you realize you have all these eyeballs on you. You start to walk differently. You're not loose anymore. You want to get to a place where this camera doesn't even exist. The other thing you want is you want to be able to have fun with your lines. You want to be able to even play with your auditions, and that will allow you to stand out and be different. For example, I want you to look at these clips.
I hope you find what you're looking for. Biter to hunter. Hey, can you call this behind me?
Yourself in the foot with it, okay? You ain't got the sack to shoot a woodchuck.
If you don't stand still, I'm gonna shoot you.
Okay, come on, why don't you just give me that gun, okay, and get out of here while you still have a chance? You must have at least some sense, right?
Suck my fat one, you cheap dime store hood.
What are you gonna do?
My name is Jacob Gibson.
You go much quicker than I did.
This is your slate.
This is my slate.
Angeles.
I'm just saying, it's okay to show compassion.
Compassion is a sign of weakness.
Now, as you've been able to see, you can have fun and you can play with your auditions. You want to get to a place where you're acting as if the camera isn't even there. You're just there, you're in the moment and you're present. Now, there are some things we have to realize. We don't want to be different just for different sake, as Brad Pitt has mentioned. For example, the clip with Jacob Montgomery, we may say, hey, he's dancing around, he has his shirt off. That's not something that we may typically do in an audition. But his acting was very good and it lined up with what he was doing that was different in that audition tape, that it actually worked in that moment. And I want you to hear from the words of Carmen Cuba herself, the casting director for Stranger Things. So take a look at this and see what she had to say.
Yeah, I think the bottom line is that if a performance is great, then nothing matters. Don't like come up with some stunty kind of thing, but then you look at like Dacre Montgomery's audition for Billy on season 2 and he's like topless with sunglasses on and dancing to this music, which normally I would say like don't do that, but it was amazing and it was totally worked with the character, you know, but also his performance was fantastic, so it was undeniable. I think if he had done that and his performance was terrible, I would have been like you really shouldn't have done that dancing thing at the beginning.
So how can we go and achieve this honest feeling? How can we have our auditions be different from the rest of the crowd? How can we go and make it our own? Well, casting directors want to see your version of the character, but they don't just want to see your version, they want to see your authentic version. They want to see you come through the character. They want to see your performance. And the way to achieve this is through improv. And it's not through the way that you think. It's not comedy improv, but it is through the use of improv. And I want you to realize how important improv can be. Watch this clip here.
What I do is I continue to perform for free at Upright Citizens Brigade. I've been doing it since 2003, so I've been doing it for 15 years for free. And I feel that it keeps me sharp. I think improv helps me with everything. It keeps my brain sharp. It keeps my acting. When I'm acting, I feel like I'm on my toes a little bit more because we come from different schools coming up.
Yeah, both improv-based. Meisner is improv-based, and I have an acting coach that I continue to work with.
It's interesting because we come at scripts, like Sam will have a script and he's so good and he's so prepared. I'm so envious of the way he gets into characters. And if you look at his scripts, he has notes on everything and he knows exactly. And even while he has the idea of the script and the character totally down, he's able to open himself up to play when there's playing. And for me, it's like the idea of memorizing what I'm trying to say, how I'm trying to say it, and if there's room for me to play, I will, and if there's not, I won't. And then like kind of feeling it fresh, me, you know, like trying to do it. So doing it once or twice with him beforehand, then just going, just because that's kind of like how my training is.
So now you're sitting there and you're going, okay, great, I understand. Improv is important, and I'm not going to do comedy improv, so how in the world am I going to use improv to help me build these authentic and real personable characters? First, you have to get a general understanding of your scene. Once you have the gist of your scene down, I want you to do that scene but you can improv it as much as you like. You can ad-lib lines. You can throw in the lines that work for you. In the script, when you're reading it, you're like, hey, this line, it feels awkward. I wouldn't say this. Add your own lines. Of course, it's not what you can record, but you start to understand your character more. It starts to feel more natural, and you start to realize, wait a minute, this is actually where my character is coming from. It allows you to shortcut the process to understand your characters more. Another technique that you can use with improv is once you get the gist of your scene down and you kind of know who your character is, to know more about your character and have more understanding, decide for yourself that you're going to create a monologue and you're just going to improv this monologue. You're going to riff it and you're going to perform that for yourself, and you're going to start to understand your character more. When you use improv in this way, you start to understand your characters more and you start to bring more of yourself into those characters because you're not pre-planning anything. All you're doing is working on your instincts. So now let's recap everything that we've learned today. The first thing is from our foundational point of view. And our first foundational point of view is realizing that when you audition, you're going to be auditioning with a lot of people that may look like you, and you need to be different. You need to stand out. However you choose to do that, you need to stand out, but not to stand out for different sake, but to have it make sense for the characters. You still want to have good work come forward, as Carmen Cuba mentioned. You also need to realize that the casting director is hoping that you're right for the part. They want it to be you. After they've gone through 50 auditions and you're number 51, they don't want to have to look at anybody else. They want to see you and say, yes, this is our guy, this is our girl. Boom, we're done. I'm going to get to keep working, put food on my own table, because they want you to be right for the part. They're not there to be mean. From the acting side, what you can actually implement is using improv. Ad-lib a scene, play with it, have fun, go wild with the improv. You can go and create a whole monologue for yourself if you would like. But improv is a very powerful tool that you can use, and when you start to use it, you're allowing your actual self, more of you, to come through in that character, and you start to learn more about the character when you play it and you improv it. When you work on all of this, you understand this, and you implement all of this together, you will have a great Netflix audition. And not only that, you will just have a great audition. So I hope you all like this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you stay up to date with everything. Give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful. If you're interested in our 10-hour acting masterclass, 10 hours of pure acting knowledge sequenced in a very specific order to work at your own personalized and designed pace, that's always going to be down in the description down below and also in the comment section, along with our 10 resume templates. And then if you like this video, then you are going to love this video right over here. I'll see you there. Bye-bye.